It is tax season, but do you need to file a 2023 return? This afternoon we have Charlie Heid, a tax principal, with us to go over what you should know. What? You don't have to file taxes? What kind of circumstance would that ever be?
So you really have to look at your gross income, your age, to really, and then your filing status. Am I, single, married, filing joint, had a household? That all plays into, do I have to file a return? So think of it in terms of gross income. If I have income that is below the standard deduction for a single person, $13,850 for the 2023 year, I wouldn't have to file a return. But that doesn't mean I wouldn't want to file a return, but it means I don't have to.
So if maybe you're retired and not getting that much and you're just living on a nest egg possibly, you wouldn't be needing to file at all.
Correct. You'd look at if I'm married filing joint and husband and wife and they're both over 65, just living on their nest egg for retirement, Social Security, you would look at your gross income, and if it's below $30,700 for this year, I wouldn't have to file a return. Now there can be some circumstances that we can talk about that might require you to do that, but overall, from a gross income standpoint, you wouldn't, because the standard deduction would wipe out your income. That's the $30,700. So if my income is that level and I have a standard deduction of the same amount, no income.
So if you have any doubts, you should call the IRS. Are they answering their phones these days? What's happening with that?
Sure, they are answering their phones. Customer service has improved. And I would encourage people, if you are trying to figure out, should I file? There is a really nice interactive tool on the IRS website, irs.gov, and you can go there and it walks you through the questions about should I file.
Okay, now there's a big $79 billion proposed tax legislation, potential taxpayer impact. What's the latest on that? This has child tax credits and a whole bunch of things, depreciation that could help someone. This passed the House January 31st, but now it goes to the Senate, and we all know how the wheels turn slowly in Washington.
Right. Yeah, so when you think about it, when it passed the House, it passed with bipartisan support.
Okay.
357 yay votes. And let's face it, we don't see that often in the House.
No.
So that was huge. But now it's at the Senate, and there's a lot of things that are going to potentially derail this bill. You've got the politics that we have in Washington. There's some competing bills. You've got the border bill that is trying to get passed. You've got the Ukraine funding, which is out there attached to the border bill. And,
hang on a second. So that's something, the casual viewer goes, oh, this side is not proposing this. Well, the problem is that they keep getting bunched up into one thing. So the border bill, for example, is not just the border bill.
Correct.
If it was just the border bill, that'd probably sail right through.
Correct.
What it is they're trying to attach the Ukraine and a few other things in there that you're not hearing about.
So this tax bill that passed the House, the best chance it has to get through the Senate and get to the president's desk would be as a standalone bill. And it's a standalone bill right now, but we've already seen senators who want to take it to the Finance Committee and make changes to the bill that passed the House, which means that when it goes back to the House with those changes, it's probably dead on arrival.
And if it did pass, what are some of the headlines of that for the average taxpayer?
And it would affect for 2023. So for the average taxpayer, if you would be able to get a better child tax credit, which is big for a lot of individual families, taxpayers. Businesses really win on this, and there are some important things that were in this bill. The biggest one is the change to research and development. Right now, businesses have to capitalize and amortize that over 5 years. They can go back to expensing it all in the year they incur it.
But again, so I guess you would encourage folks maybe to wait and see on if they file, because if you do file at April 15th, well, that's your deadline.
Right.
If you filed early, then you may have to go back and redo it again.
Absolutely. So this year, like in a lot of years past, the extension is your friend. You've heard the term extend is your friend. this would be a year that you may want to wait to file. And if you're approaching the deadline, file an extension to see what the result of this bill is, because it could impact you, and better to file an original return with these changes in it than to have to go back and amend a return.
The clock is ticking. Charlie, thanks for coming, and always good to see you, and we'll have you back in a few weeks. But I know your busy time of year is coming right up.
It is.
We'll be right back.